SCP-432 Expedition 5. Date: Expedition Supervisor Dr. T.S. Subject is D8887, male, 19, athletic physique. Subject's background shows a history of gang violence and murder. Subject is equipped with standard mission equipment pack and sent into SCP-432. Camera is activated and subject enters SCP-432. The door is held open by a 3-kilogram weight placed inside the doorway. The technicians on hand to remove the weight and close the door if required. Camera activates, showing subject is in a short corridor constructed from the same corroded metal as the exterior of SCP-432, which terminates in a T-junction after approximately 10 meters. Tunnel is notable to previous expeditions in that there are no lit bulbs on the walls. As subject moves forward, he remarks that there is a large quantity of broken glass on the floor of the tunnel. Subject switches on his torch and proceeds forward to T-junction, then proceeds left as instructed by Control after marking his route. Subject moves through SCP-432, taking turnings as indicated by Control. During this time, the subject is careful to mark his route using marker chalk and makes routine reports to Control describing any visual or audio impressions of the structure. Subject reports that he can hear occasional distant machine noises through the walls and that the interior of SCP-432 is quite cold. After 45 minutes, subject has traveled approximately 2,500 meters through the structure. Video and audio interference is minimal, and subject has carefully marked his route through SCP-432 with marker chalk. So far, all the wall-mounted light bulbs observed in this section of the structure have been broken. Subject stops to take a drink from a bottle of water and consume a ration bar. After resting for a few minutes, subject continues, and after taking a turning to the right, encounters 3 objects on the floor of the tunnel. Subject stops and illuminates the objects with his torch, revealing them to be 2 crumpled food cans and 1 bent tin fork. Cans are partially corroded and seem to be quite old. The labels are of a familiar brand of canned beans. Control asks the subject to place the items in his equipment pack for analysis. Subject continues onwards, but after 40 meters stops and informs Control that he can hear something. Control requests clarification, and D8887 remarks he can hear a faint sobbing or crying emanating from somewhere nearby. Control asks if the crying is male or female, and subject responds that it sounds male. Audio pickup fails to register the sound clearly. Subject is currently stood at a T-junction, and Control instructs D8887 to move in the direction of the crying. Subject takes the left-hand passageway, moves 30 meters down the connected corridor, takes a right turn, and follows the corridor another 22 meters. Proceeds straight ahead at a crossroad and continues for 37 meters. Video interference has begun to increase, and Control cautions the subject not to proceed too quickly. Subject complains the darkness within SCP-432 is hampering his efforts, and shouts, "Hello? Can you hear me? I'm coming." Control admonishes D8887 for shouting, informing him he may attract attention to himself. Subject asks, "What else is in here then?" But Control informs the subject to continue along his current route and locate the source to the crying. Subject stops at the next junction and pauses to listen. Audio picks up a drawn-out moan or scream, apparently human in origin, after which the crying ceases. Subject swears and asks if they heard the scream, stating it sounded very close. Control asks subject to proceed forward, and subject complies, although slowly, attempting to move with as much stealth as possible. After 20 meters, the passageway turns right. Subject moves around the corner cautiously. Camera reveals the passageway ends in a dead end. Subject approaches the wall and places his ear against the metal. Subject backs away from the wall hurriedly, hissing expletives. Control asks what he heard, and subject whispers, "There's something behind the wall. I can hear it crunching on something." Subject makes repeated whispered requests to exit SCP-432 immediately. Control confers with Dr. S, who agrees to recover the subject. Control confirms the subject may begin retracing his route, which he does so at an increased pace. Subject's egress from the structure is uneventful, although subject keeps looking over his shoulder and requires repeated verbal encouragement from Control to prevent the onset of panic. Subject returns from SCP-432 for a total expedition time of 1 hour and 47 minutes and is sent for debriefing.